Evolution has moved beyond evidence-based science. It has become a worldview. A worldview telling you life is an accident. You are just another animal. There is no creator to answer to. For over 160 years, this idea has been pushed as fact, shaping education, politics, and morality. But when we trace its origins, its evidence, and its impact, a darker truth emerges. This isn't science, it's a deception. A narrative the fallen would use to pull humanity from God and into worship of self. Let's be clear, microevolution is real. Bacteria adapt to antibiotics. Moths change color in polluted cities. Generations of life adapt to environmental changes. This is variation within existing genetic limits, no new body plans, no entirely new creatures. Macroevolution, the claim that all life came from a single ancestor by blind chance, requires huge leaps that have never been observed. The fallen blur this distinction, selling small adaptations as proof of life creating itself. Why did Darwin's theory spread so quickly? Because it gave people what they wanted, freedom from God. When On the Origin of Species was published in 1859, Enlightenment thinkers were already rejecting divine creation. Darwin gave them a convenient narrative. You are not created, you are an accident. This is how the fallen work. Sell the lie first, then scramble to provide evidence. When the evidence didn't exist, fraud filled the gaps. The Piltdown Man, hailed as the missing link between apes and humans, was displayed in museums and textbooks for over 40 years, from 1912 to 1953, until it was exposed as a hoax. A human skull and an orangutan jaw, chemically stained to appear ancient. Haeckel's embryo drawings, created in the 1860s, were faked to show human embryos resembling fish and reptiles. Haeckel himself admitted to the fraud, yet his drawings remained in textbooks for decades. Both were celebrated as proof, displayed for decades until exposed as hoaxes. But the damage was done. Generations were raised in a world where evolution was proven as fact, instead of the fiction the evidence provides. This isn't science, it's a pattern of deception, exactly how the fallen sow lies. Convince, repeat, and keep repeating even after the fraud is exposed. Darwin himself admitted his theory could collapse if the fossil record showed sudden bursts of life. He wrote, "If numerous species have really started into life all at once, the fact would be fatal to the theory." He was talking about what we now call the Cambrian explosion, and he knew it was a serious problem. Darwin hoped future discoveries would fill in the gaps, but 160 years later, the problem is worse, not better. Cambrian fossils show dozens of fully formed, complex animals appearing abruptly without transitional ancestors. By Darwin's own words, this is fatal to the theory. Yet the theory remains, not because of evidence, but because the narrative is too useful to abandon. Why push a theory with holes this big? Because it serves a spiritual agenda. Evolution tells you, there is no creator. You're just an animal. Morality is survival of the fittest. You define truth. You are your own God. This is the same ancient whisper from the Garden of Eden. You will be like God. The fallen simply repackaged it for modern times. Look at the pattern. Rapid acceptance before proof. Fraud presented as fact for decades. Darwin's own standard for failure met and ignored. A philosophy perfectly aligned with rebellion against the Creator. The fallen push this narrative because it removes God from his rightful place and puts man on the throne. Truth seekers, don't fall for it. Examine the evidence yourself. Life is not random, accidental, or meaningless. It was designed. It has purpose.